A few words about the equipment for photogrammetry, the essential equipment and the bonuses that may come in handy. As a super minimalistic setup, we don't need that much actually, just our camera or even our smartphone, and preferably with a tripod to keep it steady. But then we can start developing the inventory of things that can be useful for certain photogrammetry tasks. A backpack, for example, to put everything into. It's useful. Okay, so we have used a mid-range crop sensor DSLR for our photogrammetry, and it proved to be quite sharp when paired with the Sigma 17 to 55mm zoom lens. So let's say that in addition to camera, the sharpest lens that you can find is the best thing that you can do for your photogrammetry. Then for the longer photo sessions, over 300 photos let's say, the spare batteries are very useful indeed. As well as the extra memory cards for that matter, even though we can obviously do without that. If I had to choose one add-on to the camera, or rather to the lens that saved the day a million times, that would be a lens hood. The lens hood prevents optical flares, and that's a deal breaker when shooting outside. The reflector or any other light blocker may unlock the possibility of taking photos in sunny weather by cutting out the direct sunlight that hits the part of the surface that you're scanning at the moment. It makes the entire process a little bit tedious, and there probably will be some light streaks left in the image, but it's relatively easy to wipe them out in post, if there aren't too many. For calibrating the white balance and exposure in post, the 18% gray card is a must-have. It makes adjusting the temperature of a scene illuminate a breeze. A slightly more advanced version of a gray card is actually a full color checker, like X-Rite Color Passport 2 for example. It not only serves as a reference for setting the white balance, it also can be used for calibrating the camera. It isn't absolutely necessary for photogrammetry though, and it's fairly expensive. Next, if you have a measuring tape around, bring it with you to the scanning session. By having it present in the scan, or in some of the photos at least, it serves as a reference for the scale. Then you'll know for sure that this part of the surface is exactly 1 meter, and you will be able to nail the scale on aligning the points in photogrammetry software. It's useful. We talked about tripod already, and put it numerous times in the must-have category. If you're gonna be using the slower shutter speeds, and that's what you're gonna be using anyway, then the tripod and some kind of a remote device in order to not press any buttons actually become a necessary kit. As for drones, of course drones are godsend for photogrammetry. They are fairly expensive as well. Being able to lift and direct the camera in such way really unlocks many possibilities that aren't simply available from the ground level. But once again, it's a matter of investing into it, and it's not always a possibility. We were renting the drone for quite a long time, then bought one for our company. Next, some kind of a turntable device for in-studio photogrammetry, and then along the same lines, some kind of a light setup for more or less even lighting. And then for in-studio shooting, some kind of a tripod, ideally the system of cross-polarization that we don't have ourselves. Once again, I recommend watching the cross-polarization video on the Grzegorz Baran's YouTube channel. Speaking about the in-studio scanning, having the turntable alone already unlocks interesting possibilities of photoscanning the full 360 degrees objects. Everything else is a nice bonus, but not absolutely necessary. Thanks for watching. That was a quick overview of the equipment that can be very useful for photogrammetry. That being said, nothing prevents you from capturing the amazing photo scans using just your camera or even your smartphone. Well, with a tripod. The rest could be a good bonus and investment, but start with the basics.